built this AI automation that can generate marketing content for $1 billion brand. So in this use case, it's for Yankee Candle. You might have heard of them. Hopefully you've heard of them. And it's something that you can copy, sell, and use inside of your own AI automation agencies. So what it does, it just takes one product photo and it turns it into a set of fully branded, ready to post visuals. It can be set up for any platform, Instagram posts, stories, adverts, banners, whatever. It's all done automatically. No Canva, no Photoshop, no creative brief, no back and forth. So I'll show you it in action. This is vanilla bean espresso seasonal candle. So here's an example. You've got a Yankee Candle. I uploaded this image, gave it a name, a quick tagline, selected the formats I wanted, and here's what came out. All of this was generated on its own automatically and styled using brand rules inspired by Yankee Candle. So I'll show you how it works behind the scenes. So you probably haven't heard of me before. My name's Brad. This is my new channel, Productised. So what I do is I build automations that save you time or make you money. Today I'm going to walk you through one that you can actually sell. So this system was built entirely on N8N using OpenAI's latest image model, GPT-4o, to generate branded content from a single product input. So the example you just saw is styled around Yankee Candle, but you can adapt this for any brand, any e-commerce brand, whoever you want. If you want to just download the workflow, it'll be down below in the description and you can just import up here and use it straight away. So if you are running or planning to run an AI automation agency, this is the kind of offer that sells itself. You know, e-commerce brands launch new products all the time. Every launch needs content, fast, consistent, and on brand. E-commerce brands launch new products all the time. Every launch needs its own content, and this does it fast, consistent, and on brand. So what it can do is replace a designer, content team, strategist. You know, you've got smaller e-commerce companies that maybe can't afford to outsource this work or don't have it in-house. So you can sell this to them for say 500 a month and they can just generate assets on the go whenever they want. Client just uploads one photo and they get a full campaign. No design rounds, no feedback loops. It's a system which is scalable, repeatable, and hands off once it's running. So let's break it down how it works inside of N8N. So before, it's very similar to make.com. I just prefer using N8N because it lets me do more things. So it starts with a form trigger. So everything starts here. This is what the client would see in this case. So what they do is they open this up. You get a product name, tagline, option to upload your image, a category, and a key benefit. And then at the bottom, they can select whatever visual formats that they want. So in this case, post, story, a thumbnail, ad creative, LinkedIn. I was just playing around with the different things that we can do, but like I said, this is completely customizable. Whatever the client wants, in your case, you can change this and set it up for them. The next node on here is this one. So what this does is it's sort of a hard-coded brand style. So in this case, we're using Yankee Candle. Think of it as a creative director. It sets the tone, palette, anything to do with the images, it's here. It keeps everything consistent. So we're using Yankee Candle, so we want warm autumn tones, soft lighting, rustic. Everything's inspired by seasons, fragrance styles. So everything in here is to do with the brand. So if you were doing, I don't know, a streetwear brand, it would be completely different to this. But this is what keeps and sets the images to, you know, the style that they need to be. After this one, so in this case, in this demo, I've set it up to store the images in a Google Drive folder. So what it's going to do to keep it nice and organized is it's going to create a new folder in my Google Drive with whatever the product is named as in the form. So it's going to keep it nice and structured like this here. So a couple of examples here. I did a clean cotton candle and a vanilla bean espresso candle, and it just makes the folders and puts them in there. So the AI agent, this is running on GPT-4o. So what this does is it's basically giving the creative direction and generating the prompts later on to pass to GPT image 1. So let's have a look at what's actually sent through. So this one here, This is giving it a brief, so it's giving it the background tone, the product name. So this is giving it the brief. It's sending through the product name, tagline, and then some brand information out of our hard-coded brand details, and then some more form details as well. And then the system message, which is the actual prompt. We're giving it a role, so we're saying you're a product photographer and stylist working for Yankee Candle, a well-known brand of seasonal and nostalgic scented candles. Your task is to suggest creative visual styling elements for 5 product launch assets. So what this is doing is it's breaking down the assets that we've done and giving it a prompt to pass through. So for each asset, vary these things. So what it's going to do is going to come up with background tone, surface type, accent prop, a lighting style, camera angle, and some overlay text for the different styles. This prompt will be in the description as well. But what that's going to do is it's going to give us a JSON output like this. So this is the output parser. So the AI is going to output and structure it in this sort of style. So these are our different advert types. So it's going to output for an Instagram post, and then it's going to generate this, all these different fields here. And this will be different for each of the different asset types that we get, but it's all going to feel sort of part of the same campaign. So this gives you a super clean, reusable output that works sort of every time. The next node is the image prep node. So the product image is pulled in as binary. This is what repackages it so that we can attach it to the next step, basically. There's a little bit of code, but like I said, if you want to copy it, it's on screen now, or you can get it from the link in the description. So the next nodes, we've got set and split. So set visual options is basically what's going to give us each visual type, and then afterwards it's going to split it out into its own branch. So that this node lets them run independently and it customizes them as needed. So it's going to pass through an array of the different visual options. So what's getting passed through here, if we go back to here, is each one of these. And then this, think of this section as like a loop. So for each asset type, so you've got Instagram post, it's going to run this for an Instagram post, and it's going to run it for LinkedIn, etc. So what this is going to do is it's going to match the match asset styling from the JSON. So each branch is going to grab the corresponding style block from the output of ChatGPT. So say it's a story, it's going to get the story styling. It's just going to pair them up to feed it through to the GPT image 1 generation. Again, if you want to copy this code, I'll put it on screen for you now. If you don't want to copy it, you can just get it from the description. So after the match asset styling node, we've got the image generation node. I've only just realized when I built this automation a few days ago, there wasn't a node for GPT image 1 on here because you can use the generate an image, but now they've added it in. So I might change it to that, but if you did, it'd look like this, and you'd get rid of this top one. But for the demo, I'll keep it as this one because it's got the prompt in. So we'll quickly go through the prompt. Here's the prompt if you want to copy it. So let's break it down. So the top section here is basically saying we're asking the AI to generate a realistic high quality image for a specific marketing channel. So like Instagram or the website banner, LinkedIn, whatever has been selected, whatever's passed through. So it knows what product and brand it's for. And we're basically saying that this is an important launch image, so it needs to feel professional, emotional, and visually appealing. So it should fit in the format of the platform and look like basically part of a real lifestyle scene. So depending on the brand that you're doing this automation for, this will be different. So the next section is basically saying, keep the image that we've provided it. So we've given it a product photo, like a picture of the candle, and we're telling it not to change anything about how it looks. No stretching, no changing labels. It needs to place the exact candle inside a realistic room setup. Feels like someone's home tied to the current season. This part here, use a background tone. So it's basically saying the background should include familiar warm textures you'd find in a home. Again, linking it back to Yankee Candle, this is very on brand, like soft fabrics, warm lighting, wooden furniture. The surface the candle sits on should also feel like natural and styled, not floating or placed awkwardly. It's basically just emphasizing the realistic aspect to the assets that we want. This part of the prompt is saying that, we're telling the AI to add a prop. that matches the scent or the season. So like a pine cone for winter or a coffee mug for a cozy vibe, anything like that. It helps the story of the image feel complete. Something, if you were designing an image for a candle, you don't want to just have a candle. You want something to complement the image. So this is basically just adding into that. It's just playing on the brand again. This section here, creating some depth. So this is saying that the lighting should make the scene feel warm and atmospheric, like a soft light, like a soft side lighting or natural daylight. And we're also specifying the camera angle here, which is passed through, make the image feel more 3D and professional, like a photo shoot basically. And then here is where we're bringing in all of the brand aspects. So this is where we're passing in the brand rules that were defined in the set node earlier on, like what colors to use, what mood the scent should create, time of year the image should reflect, and how the candle should be positioned. So it's making sure that every image is consistent with the brand's look and feel. This is especially useful if you're offering this as a service to brands with strict visual guidelines. So often, if you've done any branding before or worked in branding, a lot of brands have quite an in-depth brand guidelines. So that's something that you could provide or include just to make everything feel sort of tied in. Then the last two sections are basically saying, the first one is saying include some text on the image. So if you remember at the start, we passed through a highlighted benefit. This is saying, if you want to add it in, make it nicely styled and easy to read, and make sure that it doesn't ruin the design. Then the last one, again, back to the Yankee Candle, reminding the AI that the image needs to feel engaging, something like you'd see in a real lifestyle campaign. Should have warmth, story, and polish, not look like a generic product render. So the next node is the image comes back with base 64. We need to convert it to a PNG and rename it based on the asset type to upload. And then this one bangs it in the Google Drive folder that we created earlier on as a PNG. So that's the automation. There are ways to improve this. Like I said, this is just a demonstration. Ways that you could improve it, you could add auto publishing, content approval. A lot of brands won't want to fill in a form. What you could do instead of a form is you could add, the brand runs off Shopify. You could add a Shopify node, add a trigger for when a product is created. So when a product gets created, this will go here. And instead of having all these forms here, you pass it through. So it'll bring in all of the information about that product straight into the automation rather than have someone fill out a manual form. So yeah, that's the system from one image to a full campaign. I suppose I'll show you it in action. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show how it actually works and how the workflow works. So we're going to do it for vanilla bean espresso. Here's a picture of the image that we're going to be sending it through. A tagline, I've just made these on ChatGPT to pass through. Upload the image. Here's the image. Category, so the seasonal candle and a benefit. Long-lasting burn with a warm cafe-inspired scent. And let's say that we want a Instagram post and an Instagram story. So what we're going to do is submit that. So as you can see, it passes through, goes through the AI agent, and we'll create the prompts. So here on the right hand side, you can see for an Instagram post, background tone, autumn leaves with rustic wood, aged wooden table, soft ambient glow, overlay text, embrace the warmth. So it's all linking back to vanilla bean espresso. And here you can see it creates that for every asset type, even though we've only selected the Instagram story and Instagram reel. But if we go to here, you can see that we've got two asset types on here. We've got all of the asset types on here, and it's only outputting the visual options that we gave at the start. So now it's creating the images. We go into here, we can see the image here. So it's passing through Instagram post with those fields that it created. Let's see what it outputs. So if we go to Google Drive now, we can see it's done another vanilla bean espresso 402, which is now. Wait for it to finish. So it's just completed. Let's have a look what we got out of it. So embrace the warmth. The candle's lit. As you can see, it's took the lid off. It's kept the flame in. It's very on brand. I couldn't believe how good these can be. But yeah, it's you can see the potential there. So, that's the full system from an image to a full campaign. If you want to use it, you can get the N8N workflow below, or if you're building it, feel free to replay the video. If you've got any questions, leave a comment. If you want any additional help, leave a comment. I'm happy to help. If you're building, selling AI systems like this, then please subscribe. I'm going to do more every week. If you've got any requests for automations that you want me to build, leave them below. I'll build them. Give me some inspiration. I'm happy to help. But yeah, I'll put everything in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, cheers, guys.